Some things are better left unfound. This movie ain't one of them. Abominable. This is the 2005 Sci-Fi Channel-ish movie. It wasn't really made by Sci-Fi, but it premiered on Sci-Fi. There's a difference. Now, nostalgia cast aside, I feel this is one of the best, if not the best, Bigfoot horror movies ever made. But before we get into it, make sure to check out my book, Wild Man, which is currently on Amazon in paperback and Kindle form. I'll leave a link to both in the description below, or just at the main page in general, because you can click on it either way. We'll figure it out. And I'd greatly appreciate any feedback you guys could give me, and yeah, let's get into Abominable. The plot. Preston Rogers was in a horrible accident when he and his wife were climbing atop a mountain. She didn't survive, but Preston has been left wheelchair-bound and living with the guilt ever since. Now, back to their home cabin near the mountain, known as Suicide Rock, Preston must face his inner demons. That is interrupted, though, by a Yeti stalking a group of college girls outside the cabin next door. Can he survive? Can he save anyone? And can he still kick Bigfoot's butt without having legs to work with? It's Rear Window with a killer Bigfoot. That's how it's been described many times before, and it always will be. That's because it's a dead-on accurate comparison. The story is basic popcorn entertainment. We get girls, gore, and a ghoulish figure waiting just outside. It's simple yet fun, and I love it for that. Too many Bigfoot movies are far too serious. This one knew how to be scary fun. The characters could have been developed on a lot more. Sure, they had their quirks and such, however, you never really get to know anyone on a deeper level, besides Matt McCoy's character of Preston Rogers, who we focus on the most, thankfully. Matt McCoy from Deep Star 6, and I remember him in one of the Beethoven movies, I don't remember which one, is so calm while talking. He doesn't put a lot of emphasis into his lines, and it's unintentionally hilarious. Still, you can feel his sorrow and remorse through his bright blue eyes, and that I think he succeeds in pulling at the heartstrings. Still, the 5 girls at the cabin have little to no personality, and that's a bit frustrating. Sure, one's the drunk, one's the reclusive, one's the phone hog, one's the leader type, and the other one is the responsible one. However, beyond those stereotypes, we never really get to know any of them. One of them is played by Tiffany Shepis, who is a very popular name in the horror community. In fact, this film has a ton of familiar faces from the horror genre. Lance Henriksen, Dee Wallace, Jeffrey Combs, they all have fun in their roles, it seems. The acting is solid. I wasn't expecting anything Oscar-worthy, and neither should you. This was a low-budget feature, and the performances and star power really help with the lack of character development. The scene where Rexlin, along with Lance and Jeffrey, are all talking around the campfire is golden. When Lance tells about the Darwin Awards, I have to at least chuckle every time. The camera work is amazing. The use of the crane and nature shots are the highlights. It actually wasn't supposed to snow in the final scene, but it did, and they shot the footage right at the perfect time, because it worked more thematically. Originally, Neil Fredericks, who worked on the Blair Witch Project, worked on this film as the cinematographer. Ryan Schifrin, who directed the film, actually didn't have any real faith in him because he was the cinematographer on a found footage, low-budget feature, like uber low budget. But he presented amazing footage. Unfortunately, he was the only casualty in a certain Cessna plane crash from 2004. Rest in peace. This Blu-ray from MVD is gorgeous and does Mr. Fredericks a great deal of respect. I still love the Anchor Bay release in all its graininess. However, the extra stuff they added in this movie is awesome. The new eye effects actually caught me off guard and had me exclaim at the TV. I was like, whoa! In terms of quality, the film has never looked better. Everything glows more, especially the gore, the effects. There aren't a ton of on-screen kills, but when there are, it's satisfying as hell. We get a throat ripping, a gut slashing, splattering, a girl is folded in half through a window, and a face is inventively bitten off. There are 2 iconic kills in this Bigfoot movie, and that's more than a lot of them from this subgenre can say. All of the effects are practical and look great. This film, I assume, cost no more than probably around $500,000, and in that it has some pretty stellar stuff. Once you see the titular Abominable Snowman, it'll either make you scream or laugh. I shouted the first time I saw him in 2006. It's definitely got a unique design that I, to this day, still like. The motion picture soundtrack, the director of this film, as I said, Ryan Schifrin, is the son of Lalo Schifrin, who is a pretty infamous composer. He composed the music for the Amityville Horror 1 and 2, Day of the Animals, and the Dirty Harry franchise, and many more since 1957. He naturally came to compose Abominable for his son's first film. The music is great and is part of what makes this movie work so well. It is so good I actually went out and bought the CD. And it has some songs on it like One Blade of Grass that I cannot find anywhere else but on this CD. That version of it. It's almost an orchestra in some sequences. It definitely is highbrow music for a low-budget venture. Much like Sasquatch Hunters, some people might think it's a movie that has music that is too good for itself. The main theme, as well as when the Abominable Snowman attack sequences, and one of my personal favorite tracks, The Survivors, really hammer home that 70s vibe. I also love that they used One Blade of Grass, which I already mentioned, which hammers home that old-timey feel. Even if it was only used in the trailers, it is in the soundtrack CD, like I already said. So, what do I think of Abominable? This feels like a 70s movie with a modern flair, or even just 80s flair. The setting, the cabins, which look extremely vintage. My friend and I pointed that out when we were watching it. Looks dated. It was Danny who did the Tremors from Remote to Vote video with me, as well as the upcoming Tremors 2 video for that. The music, the characters, it's got a great tone similar to the one from that decade. It has some 80s elements too, with the gore. I love this movie, and all my nostalgic ties to it. However, there are some flaws that I cannot overlook. The underdeveloped characters is an annoying factor, and some of the main leads' line deliveries are cringeworthy. Also, the lack of gore in certain parts really hurts the film. Still, this is my favorite Bigfoot movie as of now. It never ceases to entertain me. You might be of different opinions, but I think I'm going to stick with my overall rating. Overall, I give Abominable a 3.5 out of 5. Actually, they're going to be making another movie called Abominable this year. I did a trailer reaction to it, and, well, yeah, it has nothing to do with this one. Bummer. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Make sure to check out my book, Wild Man. The Amazon links will be in the description below. Thank you all for watching, and Lion Brian Gatto, the horror show host. Make sure to like, comment on, as well as share this video. Like my Facebook fan page and support me on Patreon. Even $1 a month will help keep this channel going on strong, and I'd greatly appreciate it. Also hit the notification bell, and as always, subscribe.